G'day ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WRC 10. Now, I've been playing this game a lot on stream lately, so I decided to chuck it up on the YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing a rounds around Shitara, Japan. It's the full length one, so it's all like 22 kilometers. We've got the old eBay handbrake, which is better than what people will give it credit for, and we've got the old rig going. Unfortunately, these are all sequential shifts and paddle shifts, so we're not going to be using the Thrustmaster's mediocre sequential shifter because I don't really want to undo anything. But this is what we're doing. We're going to see how well we do. Now, had a bit of a warm up before I realised all my stream overlay was still on, so that's why if you're familiar with these games, you'll recognise the shorter countdown. That's why it was 3 seconds, not the usual. But so we're going around the WRC cars. It's a lot nicer than my campaign. I just got into the WRC 2 in the campaign, so I've been lacking speed and power for quite a... Oh yes, because you might be shocked to know that I want to play the WRC game for shock the WRC cars. That being said, WRC 2 and that are still fast, but oh mate, it still leaves a little bit to be desired when you drive one of these things. This thing is so much better in every way. Plus, also, you don't have to worry about perks in the quick drive mode. Ow. Don't mind that. Oh, they slide nicely. Yeah, so, I don't know, this game hasn't been getting the love I feel like it deserves. WRC is always a bit, you know, sort of slept on by a lot of people because it's just not dirt rally. And I mean, I get it. It's also, WRC, it's got a bit of laziness compared to dirt rally, but doesn't mean you shouldn't give it a go. Especially, like, if you've got WRC 7, you should upgrade. If you've got WRC 8, WRC is pretty good, but, you know, it's still worth having a new one for the tracks, man. Rally games are just fun because of the tracks. Now, if you've got WRC 9, it's a little bit harder. And I'd say, if you play purely in the cockpit mode, this is already worth it, because if you've played WRC 9, you know how dirty the fucking window gets. This game, nowhere near as problematic in terms of dirty window. I mean, look, I've been driving for all this time and the window's still usable, which, if you play WRC 9, you know, doesn't tend to stay that way. It gets unusably dirty. But I tend to stay in this view, because in WRC 10, if you play a lot of night stages, you can't see jack shit out the front window. The same thing sort of happened in WRC 9, but you know, it wasn't as bad, but in this one it seems like it's really dark. And then you chuck it in this view, you can see everything. It's a bit annoying, but it is what it is. Oh, look at that handbrake doing its work. That was a very tasty turn, actually. I impressed myself there with that one. You know, don't worry about those. Don't cut. I do what I want, so. Don't worry about that car. Oh, another very tasty handbrake turn. Alright. But yeah, the inside of the car does have those nice sounds, I'll tell you that much. So I think we'll alternate between the two for this run, but do you see how immediately it's darker? Now just imagine that at night time, it's just, it's a whole can of worms. It's what you don't want. Alright. Oh, probably should have slowed down a little bit for that one, I think. Don't worry. Beautiful. Never happened. We're still in front. Oh man, we just lost a good, like, 27 seconds maybe. Oh, from 27 seconds. We didn't lose 27 seconds. Yeah, who cares? You know what I mean, I think. Still, I was contemplating doing the old nighttime Japanese one, sort of like how Jimmy Broadbent did it, actually, because I kind of really liked that nighttime with the rain, but I thought it'd be nice to have a bit of variety. If you want to see what this stage looks like, he did this one in nighttime in WRC 9 with the rain and all that. Looked quite good. Whereas I am going to do its morning in the clear day, because I do what I want. Okay, whoo. The other thing is, like, look at this. The cockpit views in this game are always a bit strange, because the field of view is always a bit off. Like, I felt so far away there. Ooh. Ooh. There we go. But yeah, mate, we're moving. Anyway, I want this one so I can actually see the road.
Left 6 tightens, very long, bumpy, 30. Right 4 tightens and left 4 opens, medium, 60.
Ooh. Now, if you've played the WRC games, though, you understand they have a certain charm. They do feel a little bit more arcadey than Dirt Rally, and Dirt Rally has its own flaws. Like, I think Dirt Rally's really floaty, whereas this one feels a bit more, bit more planted. Oh, that was a bit of a shit. I think so. If that was Dirt Rally, you'd have a bit more issues in the internals of the car. Whereas this game, you feel a bit more tanky. So if you don't want to just spend your whole time fighting the car to an absolute colossal degree, this game, I think, is a bit more suited to your style. I like it because it's definitely, I find it a bit more fun. I still love Dirt Rally, don't get me wrong, but I think this one's more fun to me because I like absolutely flogging it with less chance of failure, even though I have the damage on maximum. It's on quote-unquote realistic, whereas you could put it on there's like 4 something difficulties and damage realism things, and this is the best. And you've seen it's still tanky, and you can make it even easier, so you can slam it something like full speed and not take any damage on the first like 2 hits. It's ridiculous. But it adds to the fun of the game. But if you find in Dirt Rally, even if you're on like bitumen, you could be flogging it in a straight line and you'll still sort of float from side to side. And I mean annoyingly float. It's like you're driving on ice. It's the one thing that I always got annoyed by in that game. Whereas this one, you don't really have that floaty feeling. Like, you can feel the speed wobbles when you're going like 200, but like, come on, man. You can see it's controllable. I'm not just sliding into everything. Whereas Dirt Rally, unless you're a fucking wizard at that game, you really just feel like you're floating everywhere. But that's enough complaining. We're here to enjoy WRC 10 in all of its glory. Let's chop back out of the outside camera. Now, the sounds of the cars in this game are not quite as good as 9, but I think the interior car ones sound good. But, man, they've got a good selection of tracks, especially if you haven't upgraded in a while, because I know a lot of die-hard guys stick to the older WRC games before upgrading because the yearly release type thing. But the upside of them being yearly releases, if you do end up just finding one of the old ones for really cheap, mate, you get a whole selection of stages. And I know they keep a lot of the stages from year to year, like a lot of the stages in this are in year, like the 9 as well, but there's a few differences. And I think they added the stages from 9 in, or they're adding them in. I'm not quite sure, but I do remember reading about that. Probably should have looked that up before hopping onto the game, but it's not too hard to figure out. I think they added that in, but stuff like that. So like I think you can find WRC 9 on if you want to go to the dark side of G2A for like $9 maybe. Like, I think I got WRC 10 for like $30 when I bought it, so I was pretty happy. Because the only reason I bought WRC 10 is because I didn't want to install Epic Games for WRC 9 since I bought that on that when it came out. And they didn't have it on Steam yet, which annoyed me then, and it still annoys me now. Because I had to buy another one, because I wasn't installing Epic Games on my new computer. But that's alright. So, WRC 10, I can say, happily, is still a lot of fun, man. If you're enjoying watching it, I'd fucking say pick it up immediately. Especially if you have a nice, like, this is you can definitely play with a controller, but man, this is a wheel game. And this is one of those kind of games where it makes you think on your feet quite well, because if you actually know how to play rally games, you just sort of send it blindly and pray to God you pay attention. Obviously, you can learn the tracks eventually, but the rally is more fun when you forget them all and you sort of just come back after a while. So, like, a lot of the tracks with lots of, like, these 20-kilometer ones, like, I recognize bits of it because I've done the Japan one quite a bit, but I still don't know the whole track. That's 20 kilometers, man. It's like trying to learn the Nordschleife on the first time, you know? It's not going to happen. Or if you play Isle of Man like I do as well. And it's hard to learn 60 kilometers. It's hard to learn 20Ks, let alone 60. But yeah, so, like, you have a whole bunch of stages in this, like, Kenya and stuff, which, honestly, man, I overdid that one. The Kenya stage is pretty bloody good. But the Japan one's the one we're doing. The Japan one's the one we're doing today. But see, look at that. That was a pretty hefty hit, and it didn't even do much. There we go. Up the hill now. But the one thing I always do is I make sure the damage is unrealistic, because you can see it's really not that problematic. And this is an official Fanatec partner, this game, so if you have Fanatec stuff, it's all going to work, because It's the official supporter of this game or something. Unlike me, who has a Thrustmaster wheel, because Fanatec's too expensive. Well, you know, I probably could have bought the Fanatec CSL DD, but eh. Then I'd have no money when I tried to... I wouldn't have a rim, because I couldn't afford a rim. Fanatec's expensive, man. But, I mean, if they wanted to send me something, I wouldn't say no. But I'm a big fan of this Thrustmaster TGT2, man. People might say bad things about it because it's a bit expensive. I don't care. All these extra buttons have left me not really needing another wheel. And obviously you can buy more wheels for Thrustmaster, so... But the TGT2's got some good, good integration with, Gran Turismo. Like, it has a nice, feature. It, like, vibrates a bit when you slide and stuff. It's done very well. Ugh. And these TLCM pedals, phenomenal. So I got the load cell all set up. I didn't realize you had to actually set them up out of the box, so I just put the heavy pedals on, but I never actually set them up. And then once I learned that you have to plug them in with the USB cable into the computer to actually calibrate them, mate, everything changed. So now it's fully set up. Was it like 62 kilos, 100 kilos? I don't know what it is on maximum setting. I think it's like 62 kilos it says it is on maximum. I don't know if it's whatever the maximum load is on the TLCM pedals. Either it's 100 kilos or it's 80, I don't know. Once again, easily accessible information. And obviously I got the TH3A, TH8A or something, whatever. For some reason they just don't call it a shifter. But I ordered the mod for that as well, which should come recently, which basically just stiffens up the shift, because... Oh mate, it's miles ahead of the Logitech one out of the box, but I want just that little bit more stiffness like a real car, which, ugh, it makes me very tingly knowing about that. I'm so excited, you have no idea. I just looked at where my webcam would have been beforehand, which isn't there anymore. So I didn't put new webcam lately because I just want the experience to be focusing on the vehicles, you know? But yeah, I'm so keen. I got the Next Level Racing Wheel Stand 2.0, if you didn't look at my little short I posted. Which, honestly, man, this thing's sturdy. You can, actually turn it into a full rig with, like, a chair and everything. It bolts right on. The only downside is the chair's like $700 or something. It's a bit, or $600. It's a bit fucking ridiculous for a seat that bolts on. I'm sure you could just jerry-rig your own for cheaper if you know how to work with metal. But, man, one day, I'd love to have that full rig. Ah, no, my engine, right at the end. Like, I'd love to have the full rig one day. I just can't afford it. But these desks, wheel stands, man, it's got that little tray for your wheels to go in for your, like, desk chair. Can't be happier. Oh, mate. I'm telling you, I'm enjoying every minute. I haven't packed it up since I built it. If that says anything about, like, how much of an upgrade over the Logitech wheel is. Like, if you have the Logitech wheel, I had the G29, like most people have. I didn't want to spend an extra $100 for some vibration features and that quote-unquote like clutch feature that it uses for the new one. So I bought the G29 and it did me wonderfully, but you don't need an upgrade. But my god, if you want to upgrade, man, take that path. Even if it's like the T300, the belt over the cogs, it's such a big win, and I'm so happy. Like, that's honestly so good, especially if you want to be quieter. It's just, the whole package is better. But yeah, man, sending it around this Japan circuit, I think I've been doing relatively okay until that part where I, you know, fucked the car up before and broke the engine. But it's not rally if you don't Colin McRae the thing and break it a little bit. Oh, there we go. But having the wheel stand has definitely helped. I don't know if anyone else has this problem, but like my desk was pretty wonky. Like, even fully tightened, it still shakes a lot, regardless. Like, everything on the desk wobbles. And if you have to do a quick snap oversteer with, like, a bit of resistance, the whole desk is just fucking sent. Because I have it on the wheel stand, I have it on the wheel stand, man, I'm telling you, not an issue anymore. Like, there's not noisy, even the pedals are nice and quiet, and the fucking wheel, when you snap it, doesn't break anything. Oh, it's almost over. And the load cell pedals are definitely bloody fantastic. Alright, this is the end of the Japanese stage. Whoa, every time right at the finish line. Stop the car. I'm not resetting right now. Ooh, that was close. Anyway, that's WRC 10. Let me know if you want to see some more. I would probably play a bit of these games. I love my rally games over the normal sim racing stuff, honestly. But that's this. A little bit of dirt rally, a little bit of WRC, and a little bit of sim racing. And hopefully I get my bike back soon. So like I said, let me know how you feel about it all. Leave a comment down below. Like the video, subscribe and all that good stuff. And take it easy, keep it cheesy, and bye. Peace.